Have you ever wanted to paint your own shoes but just don't know where to start or what you need? In this video I show you everything that you'll need, everything that you want, some tips and tricks, and how to paint your own shoes using leather paint. In this episode I'm going to be showing you how to paint white Air Force Ones with leather paint, and my inspiration today is going to be coffee. I'm going to take these laces off so that we can get into all these bits. So what we're going to do before we apply any paint onto the shoe is we need to take off the protective layer that's on the leather. We do this by using acetone, but you can use nail polish remover as long as it has acetone, so that when you apply the paint it actually adheres to the leather and doesn't just run off. So now that you've taken the protective coating off of the shoe, you're going to want to paint it. Now what do you need to paint? Paint brushes. These are no special paintbrush, just any paintbrush will do. It will depend though on what kind of thing you're trying to do. Because if you're going for really fine detail, you'll want the little one. If you're just wanting to paint a lot of area, then you might want the thick one. So I got a variety just so I could decide later on. You're also going to want paint. Any leather paint will do, but the most popular for painting shoes on the internet is Angelus leather paint. 30 milliliters of Angelus leather paint. To make sure that you don't paint on bits you're not meant to, use some tape.
Just to show me what's on the other side of inhibition. No apologies, my baby. I do 'cause I'm feeling so good.
This is it after the first kind of coat. I think it's going to take multiple coats. You can see it looks a bit patchy there. But yeah, I think this is going to take multiple coats to get it the way that I want it. I've put 3 coats of this kind of goldy colour on this to get it how I think I want it to be. But you need to wait until it dries before obviously painting again, because you will ultimately touch it when you're trying to hold the shoe a different way and smudge it or get paint in your finger and put it all over the place. So this is the first part of the shoe done. This is a good opportunity to show the difference between 2 coats on the bottom versus 1 coat on the top. So if you paint it and it starts to look that, don't worry, because you put on a second coat, then you only have these wee white bits, and then you can put on a third coat and you can just keep going until you got it where you want it. While we are waiting for the grey to set, this is the second coat, I need to put a third one on. There's still white coming through, so I need to just make sure that it's perfectly on. We're going to add some brown to the swoosh. Okay, here is a tip. If you are worried about painting the section that you shouldn't be painting when you're painting, say this, what you want to do is, if I was painting this edge, this far side edge, I'm going to, instead of painting with my brush perpendicular to the surface I'm painting on, I want to bring it down as low as possible so it's almost parallel, because when I do this, if I miss, the edges of the brush don't actually hit the surface you don't want to paint on. Whereas if I'm going like this and I miss, the edges of the brush will hit this mid part. Whereas if I'm going like this, even the tips of my brush are over the edge there. But when I miss, it doesn't actually hit the mid surface. Okay, on this side I need to spin my brush over, because if I don't and I miss here, my tips hit the mid again. So that is a tip for you if you're very scared about painting bits you're not meant to be. Inside this edge, bring your brush as close to the surface as possible, and then you won't paint on the middle. So we're back, it's the next evening. I let these sit overnight, and then if there's any white spots, you just take a little paintbrush, so say it was grey, and then I just cover up the little white spots, and then I just kept doing that until they were looking good. So now all I need to do, hopefully, is apply a finisher, because I got the finisher because I thought when I'm doing these, I want them to last. I don't want them to be ruined if they're ever wet once. And if you're going to do it to a pair of shoes that you spend some money on, you may as well spend the extra £5 to get it finished properly. Now we're going to do the finisher. Okay, I've had a slight change of mind. I think I'm going to paint this tab. I think we're going to go with the champagne, which is this colour. Apply the matte finish. They advise you to do this with their airbrush. I don't have an airbrush, so we're going to see how it goes. This is going to take a while though, because it's all over the shoe and both shoes. So here are the finished shoes with the coffee theme. I put the final coating, matte finish, and it came out just lovely, made by me. Everything, hopefully showing you how to do it, everything that you want to know how to do to make your own custom shoes, and hopefully you found this video useful. If you did, definitely hit it with a thumbs up. You can subscribe to the channel. I don't always do shoes, I do different things, but you can learn a lot more. These are my coffee inspired shoes. Thank you so much for watching.